All right, guys. So today we have another very special guest. I'm joined by Fery Kaszoni. He is a true mastermind in digital PR and the king of high quality backlinks. So first of all, Fery, thanks for taking the time. How are you doing today? How's it going?
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. As let's talk before, like this is my second coffee. I've just made it now, so I'm really pumped, really ready to share everything that I can with the world and with the audience.
Great. So listen, so for this podcast, I basically want it to be a masterclass on digital PR, and I want to help the audience understand how you get those DR92 backlinks that you seem to be getting on a weekly basis for your clients. How does that sound? Is that cool?
Oh, my passion is giving. So I always love, giving is why I live. So I'm ready to give. I'm ready to share.
Amazing. Okay, so well, before we get into that, I do want to talk a little bit about you. So can you tell us about how you got into digital PR in case anybody listening to this also wants to get into digital PR? And if you could also share some of your biggest wins, some impressive client results, which I know you have a ton of.
I was actually a link builder, like a traditional link builder before digital PR. Just like, maybe most of the people watching this, I was like doing guest blogs and forum link building. I've probably built probably over 10,000 links just with guest posts and forum links before. Even with my income tax site. So many people know in the industry, like the income-tax.co.uk, I always post about it. And it really took off when I started building forum links. So I had a spreadsheet with I think I just researched the popular sites link profile and I filtered by forums. I downloaded the list. I created accounts on those forums. I posted a genuine question on the forums. And then with another account, I've kind of answered my question with income tax. So for example, it was a dog forum. And I said, I want to sell my dogs because I have puppies, but I'm not aware of the tax implications. And then the other person replied, here's a tax calculator. You can actually calculate, your taxes with this. So that's how I've been doing it before digital PR and forum link building and guest posts, reaching out to all the mom bloggers in the world and trying to get a deal with them. That was my previous life. 2021, we started doing digital PR. We've seen, Rise at 7, now all the like Reboot Online and JB, all the other companies, smashing it with digital PR. I said, we gotta figure this out and then hopefully improve on it. And that's where I really fell in love with digital PR by seeing, what's really possible from like other really great agencies. And that's how it all started in 2021. We stopped doing any other guest blogs, any other link building, and we've only done digital PR ever since then.
Incredible. And so any impressive client results you just want to share, just if you want to shout out a couple of big names or something.
I think we have Bad Kingdom is one of our oldest standing clients. I think they run 3 campaigns per month now with us. They started in I think October 2021 in the first year. So they were like one of our first clients back then. And they started with 1 campaign a month, and then in 2022 they doubled. So they were running 2 campaigns per month. And now I think since 2023 we do 3 campaigns per month for them. And we literally outrank IKEA. We outrank any other, retailer for the main keyword, which is bunk beds. So if you Google bunk beds in the UK, they're number 1. Again, but I don't want to say it's our work that's achieved that. It's not just digital PR. So I just want to set the expectations right for everyone listening, or like everyone thinking, I'm going to start digital PR and I'm going to destroy everyone in my way. And it doesn't really work like that. Like Bad Kingdom are absolutely amazing at SEO. So they have a good SEO strategy. They have good on-site SEO. They have good technical SEO. They have good products as well. They probably have good customer service, and they do everything else right. And I think our digital PR just kind of fueled that little engine that they already have there. So that's one of the the successful clients. We had like Fresher as well. They're like a big beauty salon directory in the UK. They bought quite a few campaigns from us, and again, they're smashing it as well. But I mean, the success, depending on what you mean, the success of getting links, all of our campaigns. I mean, I know it sounds like all your campaigns are successful, but with our campaigns, we guarantee a certain number of links, and we always deliver because we just work for free until we deliver the campaign. So I even made a post on LinkedIn this morning addressing a comment made by another person on LinkedIn yesterday, like, oh, like you cannot guarantee links with digital PR, and everyone is guaranteeing it's like it's not real. Like it is real, because if you just launch unlimited campaigns free of charge, then you can actually guarantee links, not with one specific campaign, but maybe with 10 stories that you run for the same kind of campaign. So it is possible to actually guarantee links. So in terms of like success, like every campaign delivers the links because we just work for free. Some campaigns only get, some stories only get 2 links, but then we supplement that with extra stories. So that's why every time you say like, what's the success rate of the campaigns? Well, it's like almost 100%, because we always, just run stories, extra stories.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether that makes sense.
Yeah. That makes sense. Okay, so let's get back to the start here for beginners. Could you explain what digital PR is and why it seems to be the only effective way of getting those DR 80, 90 plus backlinks today?
Yeah. So it's a good question, because we should not confuse the digital PR with like guest posts, right? There are some, especially like smaller, companies. I know somewhere around the world that say, oh, we do digital PR, and then even GoDaddy made a video about 5 digital PR techniques. If you just Google GoDaddy digital PR, you see the video. I wouldn't say that digital PR is you create an insight, you create a story, you pitch it to real journalists from top tier, not just top tier media, but top tier media and regional media, regional news outlets and industry news websites, and you hope that your story is so good that they will write about it for free. That's digital PR. So there's no transaction involved. You create something interesting based on what the news publications are consistently writing about in your niche, and you pitch it to those journalists, and you hope they will pick it up, and it will be of value to them, because that's all you have to do with digital PR. You have to create value to the journalist. How do you create value? You give them content that they can use for their audience, or you give them insights that they can use for the audience. So you make their life easy. That's digital PR. How can you become the colleague and the extension of a real journalist? That's kind of digital PR.
Yeah, it's incredible. Okay, so let's run a hypothetical example. Let's say you get a brand new client. What is that first step of your digital PR campaign?
First step is they pay the invoice.
So get that out of the way.
Yeah, that out of the way. Invoice paid, great. Now we can start the ideation stage. Ideation means, so the team member gets assigned a campaign, and they go away and they start watching the news. So you can use Google search, advanced search operators. You can just say in title, expert reveals, and then you say sleep. And that's how you find all the sleep related stories. For example, if you have a mattress client, and you go to news as well. So click on the news tab, in title, expert reveals, and then sleep or mattress or bed or something like that related to sleep. So you can play around with the keywords in this way, and you can filter by month. Every month, you can just say, give me all the publications I wrote about this thing, last month or the month before, or even this month, last year. Because in the summertime, there's like trending topics about for sleep. I love the sleep niche. You have trending topics about heat wave, how to follow sleep in a heat wave. We can literally redo this campaign every year, every June, every August, and we'll get new links with it. Because journalists need experts who give advice, and journalists know that people will click on it if it's a heat wave. The biggest problem of people in a heat wave is they cannot sleep at night if they don't have an air conditioning. And journalists know, if they write about that every week, even in a heat wave, they will get new clicks from the audience, because people want to know how the hell am I going to fall asleep when it's like 35 degrees in my room. And then if you provide these tips on behalf of your clients, then you will get links. So that's how you can search for trending topics and just look for what journalists wrote about last year with these advanced search operators. That's the best way to find ideas for almost any niche. If you go expert reveals, and then you say driving or accidents or credit cards or personal finance, Google will give you all the publications that wrote about that topic in the past, and if they consistently write about it, you can see, if it's been, written about that topic consistently, then you are very likely that you will get links again and again with these stories. It's the like, it's not even a secret. Like, it's out there. It's so easy. It's an easy concept. I don't want to say it's easy.
Right. It's simple. It may not be easy.
It's simple. Yeah. When you get to execution, then, it becomes, especially if you do like large scale execution, that's where, things get complicated. But the concept is very simple. Find a good story that resonates with the press, redo it with your own expertise, push it out, and then happy days, you get new links.
Right. But then, so the actual process of creating content that is attractive to a top tier publisher, I feel like that's where the difficulty comes in, right?
Yeah.
Because how do you differentiate? I mean, a bunch of people are going to go see, okay, everyone's writing about how to sleep in a heat wave, but how do you get your content across, right?
Yes, and I'm talking about the easiest niche, which is sleep. But when you have a cybersecurity client managing, whatever hardware, and then they come to you and say, well, we want links, and like, okay, let's do this, and we know that we are very likely going to lose money on that campaign. So because we have to work on so many stories, that we have a large, we have a big chance of losing money on that. So for sleep, it's easy. Dating, it's easy. You can find ideas like this, like in the way I've described. But there are some difficult niches. They are like email delivery service or something like that. Like, good luck finding a buzz in the media, and those campaigns usually take longer. So I think anyone watching, the sleep is easy, and I do make it sound very easy, but there are some niches that it's okay that they will take longer, and it's okay that it's going to be hard. You might have to launch 2, 3, 4 campaigns to get them the links, and it might take longer because there's not constant buzz in the media about that. And that's where the difficult part comes of digital PR, the variety of niches. So the more niche you are, the more difficult it is to get good ideas that will resonate with the press.
Right.
And it is okay. It's okay. Again, you can just use advanced search operators, but also you can just make a list of your top 20, dream list publications, and then spend a week on analyzing the stories that have been written about the topic of your client in the past 1 year. And that's how you can come up with like really, really good ideas. But it takes time to go and analyze those. And that's the best way to do it for like difficult niches, by making a list of 20 publications, look at what they write about, spend a week on it. It's normal to spend many days in like more difficult niches sometimes, and you can find topics that you will likely find it to resonate with the client, but also with the press.
Yeah. And so what about the deciding on the specific type of campaign? Because I was in Saigon when you were talking about, I believe you were talking about a data-driven campaign,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
And you shared a couple incredible insights about how to create those data-driven campaigns. Which, by the way, could you talk a little bit about that? Because I think that was super helpful.
Do you mean like the data campaigns?
Yeah. So where do you take the data from? How do you kind of mesh it up into a story and then deliver it? Because I think that's incredibly valuable.
Yeah, I made the analogy. I wish I had like 2 pots of paint here with the paint right in Saigon. Like, you can take 2 data sets, and they are, each of them are like unique stories, and then you can create a third story that's even more unique by combining the 2 data sets together. Government websites are the best, are the best to get the data from, because they are trusted by journalists. When you say experts from whatever, client analyzed data from the UK government or from the US government, instant trust. It's a trust there. If you say, oh, we have done whatever, survey, like, surveys are good, but government data sets are like, it's a gold mine. So, and simple government data sets, everyone has access to them. But when you combine those simple data sets, that's where you can create a really unique story. Another good way to create a story with data, this is a very simple data set. So you can do a story about, let's say you have a car client, and anyone can do this. Actually, I encourage people watching doing this and see how it will actually land links. You can go to Google Keyword Planner, set up a account, and you can actually extract search volume for different keywords, estimated search volume for different keywords for different states, and you can do a story about the states most obsessed with electric cars, and you put in 50 keywords about electric cars, and like car brands, Tesla Model Y, BMW iX or whatever, and then you put in all of these keywords, 50 keywords. You add the search volume together for every state, for every keyword, and then you get another data set, which is the US Census data, the population of every state, and you combine, and then you calculate the search volume of all the electric car searches against the population, and you will have the search volume per 100,000 inhabitants in every state. And those states with the highest search volume per 100,000 are going to be the states most obsessed with electric cars.
Yeah.
And then you have 50 angles there. California, the tech capital of the world, is actually not even in top 10 of the states most obsessed with EVs. I mean, it's a hypothetical statement, but it could be. And then that's going to be a clickbait. Like, what do you mean California, Silicon Valley is not obsessed with silicon-driven cars, right?
And it's also, it was so brilliant because I remember it was applicable to almost any niche, right? It's like you can look up a little bit of census data, where are people living, some other type of data, mesh it together, and then you have something that you can send to journalists right away.
It's most obsessed states. I'm actually obsessed with the most obsessed states angles, because you can do the states most obsessed with pets. Just put in like dog breeds, like dog breed names, or like dogs and cats and everything, and then the state is most obsessed with pets. With states most likely to divorce. Put in search volumes related to divorce, compare it to population data, and those are the states most likely to get a divorce in 2024.
Right. Yeah, incredible. Yeah, I think that's probably one of my favorites. What about reactive PR? How does that? How is that something that's different, and how do you manage that?
With reactive PR, you need people who are obsessed with with the buzz of the news.
Okay.
So on our team, we have people obsessed with Taylor Swift.
Okay.
It's so good. Whenever Taylor Swift does something, I can see we have a campaign going out within like an hour, because that person is watching everything that Taylor Swift is doing. Every time Taylor Swift is blinking, that person knows about it. And that person will put it in the channel immediately. Oh, Taylor Swift has done this. Or, Taylor Swift is about to get engaged probably at the Super Bowl. We had a campaign getting 50 links with this story, just because the person was obsessed with Taylor Swift. So you need people on the team who are obsessed with different things. I'm obsessed with, like EVs, right? When there was a fuel shortage in the UK, I knew people would search for electric cars because they were, frustrated by, waiting for hours to get petrol. I had 50 links. I think I actually made a video on this.
I've seen that video.
Yeah, exactly. So
you
have people obsessed with certain things, and those people are the best for reactive. If you are obsessed with Elon Musk, every time Elon Musk does something, you will have an idea. Oh, if he's done this, then probably, if he buys Twitter, then probably something, goes up. Searches for whatever goes up. And then you can react to things. So you need to have people obsessed with various things. If you have lots of relationship clients, you might want to have people obsessed with like relationships and, love and so on. So the more diverse your people are in terms of like obsessions, the better it is for the whole team, because they can put that insight into the reactive. Let's say we have a reactive channel in Slack, and every time something happens, people obsessed with things just put it there, and then everyone can jump on it.
Yeah, I feel like that one might be a little bit harder just for your average SEO, your average small business owner, just because you do have to be very much on top of those trending topics. But phenomenal if you're a bigger business, you have someone that you can kind of put on that topic. Yeah.
Or like as a beginner, just get yourself obsessed with Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift and Elon Musk are the best link builders in the world. So if you start reading them and get obsessed, follow them, and on social media and you watch everything that they do, you will have lots of ideas. If you kind of almost like push yourself to get obsessed with these topics, then you will start seeing little hints, little things here and there, like, oh, they've done this. Maybe that's a good example. Maybe that's a good idea for a campaign. So if you can push yourself to get obsessed, then you can also win.
Got it. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about the ideation. How do we create this content? I feel like the other difficult, I guess it's all difficult, but the other difficult part is we now want to contact these journalists, right? First of all, are you using any specific tools to find a journalist? How would you know, like, what is a good journalist to target? Like, are there journalists that are just going to tell you to fuck off right away, which I'm sure there are? And how do you make your pitch stand out, right? When there's so many people like you that are pitching to journalists.
Yep. So, of course, you can get journalist lists like for free by just going to news outlets, using Google search operators, as I said, expert reviews, and then click on the articles, put them in a spreadsheet, find so create 3 columns, article, author name, and then email. And then you make a list of all the articles, or you can even export them, with some Chrome extensions, export the list of search results for your query, put them in a spreadsheet. A second column is name. Then you would have to either use the author. I think you can use a meta tag, or like there are like JSON schema. You can probably use some functions from within Google Sheets to extract that structured data. If not, you would have to go manually find the name of the journalist, and then you can just go and try to find the email on the web of that journalist, put it in the email column for every journalist, and then you can target that. It's very working, like you have to work a lot, you have to spend a lot of time doing that, but it's effective if you don't have resources, if you don't have money to buy the tools. I think that's how I would do it if I had no money, and then start getting traction, start getting some results, and then you can sell more, and then hopefully you can have money to go and buy a license for Roxil Media or Muckrack or Cision or Velio. And we can put this in the comments in the video. So there are like specialized databases like Roxil Media, who you just put in give me journalists who wrote about Meghan Markle, like the royal, in the past 6 months, and it will give you all the journalists and how many times they have written about Meghan Markle. If you have a royal story, then if you pitch those journalists, they will likely, many of them will likely cover your story if it's a good story about royals, because they write about royals consistently. Or if you have, journalists writing about car accidents, you can also, if you have a car insurance client or a driving client, you can also pitch them, and you can find it in the same way. Just look for journalists. Give me all the journalists who wrote about car accidents in the past. I know 6 months or 3 months or even 1 month, and then it will give you all the list of journalists. You can export it, or you can send it via directly via the platform Roxil, or even Muckrack allows you to do it. Cision allows you to do it. So I would recommend using specialized tools if you want to do it at scale.
Okay, and then formatting the pitch so it stands out in a flood of 100 pitches. Any tips, any subject lines that makes the journalist go absolutely crazy?
I actually want to do a live, almost like a weekly live show, editing other people's press releases. I might actually do it on LinkedIn.
Yeah, you should.
Yesterday, I had somebody reaching out via the website. We have a chat box there, and saying, "Hey, Fery, I want to talk to Fery," and then I got prompted on my phone. And I responded. I said, "Yeah, how can I help?" He said, "Oh, I had this, campaign. I've been trying to pitch it for like 6 months, and nothing happened." And he said, "Where can I find better journalists?" And like, maybe it's not the journalists that's the problem. Maybe there's some other problem. Send me your Google Doc with your pitch. And he sent me the Google Doc, and I look at it and say, this is AI content, man. Nobody will, those fancy AI words throughout the whole press release. AI written kind of press release. Nobody will write about that. Come on, like journalists are not fool people, right? They are like clever, like very clever people. So you need to have, first of all, avoid using raw AI. Maybe you can use AI to come up with like an expert quote or something, but don't just use AI and then chuck it out there in an email. It will fail 100%. So don't just use AI to create your pitch. And the pitch has to be super, super simple and straight to the point. Don't start with, "Oh, hey, Megan, I hope your day is going well. How's your dog?" Just, don't do that, because nobody cares. Just go straight to the point. Say, sleep expert reveals how on earth to fall asleep on a plane. Right? And that's kind of a catchy title. And then you say, with the travel season, many people are traveling, blah blah, and you're very likely to want to have a nap on the plane. Luckily, sleep experts from Bad Kingdom reveal 5 tips that you can adopt while on the plane to fall asleep in under 5 minutes. And then you start elaborating the tips. You can find the tips. So the way you can do it, you can put together the tips, send it over to the client to add their own hint. And then once the client approves it, you can just put those 5 tips in the email. That's it. And at the end, say, "We hope you love this story. If you would use this story, we would appreciate a link to our client, Bad Kingdom, who provided these tips. I hope you'll have a great day." And that's it. And it works because journalists, they can come up with those tips, but they are not in a position to do so. It's not journalism. When you share your opinion, that's not journalism. Journalism is you take a third-party opinion, a third-party event, a third-party insight, and you report on it. That's why in America they call it reporters. Reporters are, taking other things and report. They don't have the authority or like the moral kind of authority to actually write about tips, because even though they could have good tips, they are journalists. They have to report on somebody else's content. And that's where, these tips come into play. So that's how you do it. Structured, simple, easy, quick intro, do the tips, and then say, "We would love a link if you would cover this story." They don't have to link, but, just put it there, because it will get more of them to link.
That's brilliant. Yeah, that's golden. So let's say we end up landing that link. Do you try to keep like a rapport with this person? Or are you trying to constantly then pitch them other things because they've now landed one link?
I would recommend,
yeah.
If it's a smaller team, I would recommend you doing so, because that could help. When we don't have direct relationships with journalists, like very close relationships with them. They might remember us, and they might, because we are probably, I don't want to say, but we are probably one of the largest story creators in the world. So they kind of know our, we operate on the journal research. We have a journal research, journalist-facing brand, and journalists actually subscribe to our emails. In this case, we don't need to have direct relationship, because there is like a trust. We've been doing this for like 3 years. For a smaller, or for a beginner, I would say every time somebody publishes something, just email them, say, "Thank you very much for covering our story. I hope it was helpful. Is there any, are there any other stories that you would like to have around this topic?" So if it's a small team, it's more efficient to have, build on this relationship. If it's a larger team, I think it becomes at least for us, it's difficult because it's so hectic, so fast paced, that we don't really have the time to maintain like a very close relationship. But for smaller companies, for smaller teams, I would say, thank them for every link.
Send them a Christmas
and
card.
maintain. Yeah, indeed. Indeed. It helps.
Yeah. And so we've then published, we've gotten a link on some high tier publication. Is there anything that you do to kind of push that story further? Like, let's say you land a link on The Sun or something. Do you then like publish something else, like, "Oh, we got a link on The Sun," and that gives you is that something that you do? No,
we don't do that. It would be an extra step in our processes that would, it might work, but I'm not sure if it would pay off. So that time, I mean, we don't do that.
It's just a bad idea.
Well, no, it could be a good idea. No, absolutely not. It could be a good idea. Actually, I'm thinking, how can we, now when I was looking at the window, I'm like, looking at the bird flying out, like, how can we actually leverage this, maybe test this out? But it could be a good idea, but we have not done it at scale.
Okay,
but maybe
no,
if
it's
you do
good to
it at
know.
scale, and
It's good to know.
I've seen some other agencies saying, "Oh, previous coverage in the press release," and they said, "Oh, we have been covered in like the Sun or like the Daily Mail," to kind of push some trust into the press release. That could also work. We have not done it, but maybe somebody can test it and let us know if it worked well.
Got it. I'll test it and I'll let you know.
Yeah, indeed. Let me know. Let us know if it worked well.
Okay, so then on the question of trending topics, and I guess this is kind of tied to reactive PR, which we already talked about, because one of the things I wanted to ask is, I feel like a lot of this digital PR, like doing well with digital PR, has to do with being up to date with things. And so how do you yourself as a business owner, how do you stay on top of trending topics? Is there something that you do? I mean, being on Twitter, I guess, is one thing. You see what's happening, but any other tips for someone who's already busy running their own business but wants to get involved in digital PR?
Yeah, I think, as you said, Twitter is best, but also LinkedIn. I'm looking at some other digital PR agency. There's a digital PR newsletter called Grapevine. Grapevine.
Okay.
It's really good. It lists all the successful campaigns that have been
Nice.
published like in the week or in the month. So you can literally have a nice list of some successful campaigns for different industries every month, or I'm not sure, is it weekly or monthly? And that's a really good place for inspiration. So I suggest everyone signing up to Grapevine. It helped us a lot. We have lots of campaigns from there that we use as inspiration. So you can keep the trends there. The thing is, that's kind of almost like backwards, because by the time those campaigns have succeeded, then the trend is kind of going away. But it's still a good place to have some extra insights, extra ideas for the future campaigns as well.
Got it.
Just have Google. Not sure what you call it, like Google, like the Google feed, like the Google app home.
Yeah.
Discover. Google Discover brings up news. Every time I go into Google, I have like the Google Discover there, and I have the news listing out about. The thing is, that's kind of biased because it knows that I'm, following Elon Musk, and then all the stories I see like Elon Musk and so on, or whatever I'm following. But it still can be a good useful thing.
Okay, so Twitter, LinkedIn, Elon Musk, and Taylor Swift. That's what we gotta.
Yes.
That's what we gotta be updated on.
100%. They are the. I've done a speech in, I think it was in Poland, at White Press, and it was who are the two best link builders in the world, and the people thought it's going to be. I'm going to say it's me. I said no, it's Taylor Swift and Elon Musk. They are the best link builders. Every time they move, they earn links for our clients. So those two people are a must watch. I just want to emphasize, I know like Donald Trump is now trending, but we kind of try to stay away from politics, from wars, from tragedy. I would suggest not getting into that area, because it can be polarizing. It's like 50-50. The population, half of the journalists love it, half hate it. So you don't want to go into places where you create statements that can offend 50% of the journalists.
Absolutely.
So anything that's war related or tragedy or death, or if the Queen died, we said like no royal stories, no Queen stories. We don't want to almost like be seen as profiting from the death of somebody. So I would just suggest stay away from politics, from tragedy, death, and anything that's kind of very controversial.
Yeah, well, that actually lines up perfectly with my next question, which was, what are some common mistakes that people should avoid when they're doing digital PR? That's definitely that's one of them right there. Anything else?
Yeah. So that's one of them. Avoid kind of controversial topics. But the other one is just don't give up too fast, because too soon, because you tend to say, oh my God, this is not working, I'm going to give up. It's normal for things not to work at the beginning. And we were the same, when we started digital PR. It was like 4 months in, lots of campaigns, and nothing happens. And then, slowly we started breaking the ice, and then we figured it out. So I would say give it a few months before you give up. before you kind of evaluate whether this is right for you or not.
How many emails do you think a beginner needs to send? Like on average, let's say you send, like what's the success rate you would expect for a beginner if they're doing everything well? I'm not going to say exceptionally, but things are going well. You're sending the right subject lines. The story is decent. How many emails do you think?
Per campaign?
No, email to land one link. How many emails to land one link? They should send at least before they turn away.
It depends on the niche. For easy niches, you can send 200 emails and get
Okay.
Get 5 links, like
Got it.
fashion, sleep. If the story is good, if it's timed well. If it's a B2B, you might have to send 1,000 emails
Got
or
it.
more.
Yeah. Okay, good. Because that also serves as a bit of a reference of, okay, I've sent 50 emails. No one has replied to me. It's time to give up. It's like, maybe not. Maybe you're in B2B. You have a cybersecurity company. Maybe send 2,000 emails and then think about it, right?
Yeah, that's why I had people reaching out saying, "Oh, I've sent out so many emails and nobody, covered my story." And how many emails? Like 72. I'm like,
come on.
No, that's not a lot of emails.
That's
not a lot of emails.
Got it.
I mean, we send out. I'm not really saying this publicly, but we send out lots of emails in a day. Like on an agency level, like it's not in the thousands and not in the tens of thousands.
Millions.
Not millions, not quite millions per day. Not millions per day, but we send out a lot of emails, and we don't have spam reports. So we have some sense we have like 40% open rates.
Yeah, incredible.
Even though we do send out large scale, we actually target them really well. So yeah, it's you will not be able to compete with 70 emails.
Right. Of course. Okay, and then I guess we can't talk about digital PR. Well, we can't talk about anything related to SEO today without talking about AI, right? So are you involving AI in any process? I know there were a lot of people when earlier on, I think maybe it was this year or maybe late last year, people started spamming me at least to talk about on this channel AI hero tools. So just these tools that would just come up with all these pitches for journalists. Not sure exactly how that's going, but are you using AI in any process in digital PR? Do you recommend it? What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely recommend using AI. We use AI for sometimes correcting spelling errors or detecting facts or like hinting errors in our press releases. So we use AI for that. We use AI for some sometimes even for idea inspiration, like, oh, give me the top 20 movies on Netflix and whatever in this month and the top actors from the top 20 movies. So it gives you some like a foundation for ideation. We do use it to rewrite some expert quotes, to add some extra things to expert quotes, but we never write a press release with AI. We just use it to help us.
Got it.
With it, maybe our dream in the future is we press a button and we have the idea, the press release, everything is done by the AI. That's kind of our dream, but currently it's not there yet. Like the AI is not there yet. But I think it will get there. I think hopefully it will get there, because then the fact that the expert has approved that insight, even though it was like kind of created by AI, the expert is the value, like the expertise, like the fact that our client is the expert in like the field of like dating or like sleep or whatever. That's where the value is going to come to the journalists. And that they have approved kind of insights. Maybe so that's the future, right? It can come, but currently we don't use, and the whole team, knows this. Like we only use it for like sometimes helping with expert tips, but we don't have an actual process in the training system about AI yet. We are experimenting a lot. We are coding a lot with AI, trying to implement AI in our coding system, in our platforms, but we have not gone mainstream with the AI adoption on the team yet.
Got it. Great. And so another question that I can't have an expert SEO here and not ask is the future of SEO. How are you seeing it? Is SEO dead? Is it time for us to close up the shop and go to the beach.
Yes, it is that. It's been that, yeah, for quite a long time now, as we all know. I think the old SEO is dead. The new SEO, long live the new SEO.
Yep.
The old SEO is get links, get content, happy days, and get rankings. Yesterday, I had a meeting with a client. I think, I'm not even sure they joined or not joined yesterday, but I had a meeting with them. And they said, and they have an affiliate content site. It's the first affiliate content site that I've seen that exploded after the latest update. All the other sites went down. He's selling like vacuum cleaners. Not selling, he's reviewing vacuum cleaners. They went up. I looked on HS while we were in the Zoom meeting, and like, come on, man, this is crazy. He said he wants to amplify what's now the traction with like digital PR. That's fine. But they exploded because they have a brand. Their YouTube channel has hundreds of thousands of subscribers.
Yep.
And what he said was so cool. He said, all of our reviews, we literally had, like big companies reaching out to us, big vacuum cleaner companies, to offer us money to put them up in the list or to make a, almost like a little biased, review about their product. And he said, no, he rejected any offers. He said, everything that we do is 1,000% unbiased, regardless of what commission we get. We don't care. We actually test it, and we are unbiased, trusted source of information on YouTube. I think they have like different channels on various platforms. They are a brand. Their website, it's incredible. I think it like more than doubled in traffic since the update.
Incredible. Yeah.
So that SEO is going to work when you build a whole infrastructure around your website. It's not just it's not the website that's going to be the main element in the SEO schema, but it's going to be your YouTube channel, your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your people Googling your name, people trying to find information about you. That's SEO. That's the new SEO. So video creation, I think in the past it was links and content, written content. I think now it's going to be, links, content, and video. I think you have to add the video, and not just AI generated automated video that create a transcript of your blog post, but video that provides extreme value to the audience.
Yeah,
that's the new SEO.
I couldn't agree more.
Welcome to the new world of SEO.
Yeah. Barry, those are all the questions I have. Is there anything else you want to share? Anything for a beginner that's starting digital PR? Any other tips? Anything they should know?
For beginners, like the biggest tip is, don't ever think that your idea has to be unique in order to earn links. It's the biggest myth in the digital PR. Oh, well, this idea has been done like last year. Like, yes, perfect. If it has been done last year and it got
proof
links,
of concept. Yeah, proof of concept.
Do it. It works, right? So we don't have that as much anymore, but we used to have like some clients saying, because now we kind of we kill this objection in the right at the beginning before they join. But in the past we didn't do that. So down the line, when we shared the ideas with the client, yeah, well, these ideas have already been done like last year by another company. Like, yes, exactly. That's why we are doing it, because we will get new links this year with it. Or like, oh, this idea is boring. Do you want not boring ideas that your grandma thinks are great? Or do you want ideas that will actually get you the links? Because links, I mean, digital PR has exploded because us SEOs figured out, oh, hey, there's some good links to be earned here. Like, that's why digital PR exploded the way it exploded in the past 3 years. It's not because brands have figured out, oh, it would be great to be, mentioned in like the BBC so I can show it to my mom. No, SEOs figured out, hey, we can get links with digital PR. That's why it exploded. So you should not care if a story is boring, as long as it gets you the links. If the links are the target and the goal, I mean, it might be that the client just wants, brand mentions on BBC, and then you can just ignore the links and then, just do exciting stories, and maybe it will get something or not. But if it's links, there's no such thing as boring story for link building. A boring story is good as long as it gets you the links, if the links are the target. So that's kind of killing the myth of like the early thinking of like how digital PR should work.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks so much for taking the time. That was honestly so jam-packed with incredible
As
nuggets.
always,
So I
man.
really appreciate it. Where can people find you? Where would you like people to go?
Just Google my name, Fery Kaszoni, and LinkedIn. You know, I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter. I'm
And your
on Twitter.
agency as well, Search Intelligence.
Yeah, Search Intelligence. Yeah, just Google Search Intelligence. And yeah, I'm out there. Just Google us, and hopefully you find some of my entertainment content as well. I've just shown you the new music video that we're doing. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be with Tim Solo from Href. So that'll be good. That will be a classic one in the SEO world, hopefully.
Yeah, go check out all the videos he does. It's absolutely incredible. Like the staging, the ideas, incredible execution. Thanks so much for taking the time, and we'll see you soon.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.